Hi guys, welcome back. This is now issue 41 of Build the Classic Routemaster. Okay, so I just need to start off by saying, obviously, I wasn't actually going to film this because I'm waiting for a replacement of issue 41, but I've managed to repair it, and I'll show you what I've done in a little while. So obviously this magazine is already open, but I'm going to go back to it. I've managed to rectify one of the problems. I've received my replacement issue 40, so I've got a new frame, and that is all good now, I think. I've test fitted the windows, they seem to fit in okay, so I'm going to go with it. It doesn't look as bent out as the last one I had, so I'm happy to carry on. So I've managed to repair this issue 41, so I'm going to go with this. It's fine. And yeah, so this is obviously out early because obviously I want to get ready for issue 42, which will come out as normal on Monday. So yeah, without further ado, let's go down. We'll check off the parts, and then we'll get building. Okay, so here are the parts. As I say, I have already opened this because I was going to film it. I can't remember if I've covered it or not, but when I opened this, there was actually a problem with this, and I'll explain a little bit about that in a minute when we go through the parts. But all's good now. So also I want to just apologise. I did release a video earlier today, which was the build the Delorean, and I had a really bad day the other day. As I think I said on one of my videos, perhaps. I came home. I had a really bad day. I went to film the Delorean, I think the other day, and there was a problem with my camera software I normally use, and it decided not to work. So I uninstalled it because it was just glitching, and I re-downloaded it, but they've brought out a new software, Logitech, and it was absolutely horrendous. I couldn't operate it properly. There was so many options, and it just wasn't very user-friendly in my opinion. So I rolled with it because obviously I needed to get something filmed, and later on that day I uninstalled it, and I managed to find the old software again, which is what I'm using now. I managed to find it on a third-party website. Now when I came to upload and edit the Delorean film that you saw today at 6 o'clock, you may have found the quality a little bit lacking slightly to normal. I mean, I haven't got the best setup, but for some reason the new Logitech software films and records, but the file format that you end up with isn't supported by the software I use to edit, Power Director. So I had to convert all the video files through another piece of software just to get them in to make the video, because I'd already filmed it. It was just an absolute nightmare, but so we should all be back to normal now. So that's just a little bit about what happened there. So lots of parts in this issue, and they're all in here. Obviously it's already been opened, so I'm just going to tip them out again. And there's lots of little parts, to be careful, and we'll check them all off. So let me just adjust the camera for you. So we've got some window pieces, and I'll just take them out of the pack. They've got fingerprints on them, so I was having a play with them. I'm going to have to clean them at some point. So 41A is the left near side window, which is this piece here. Okay, I'm going to leave that what should I do with it? Yeah, I'll leave it in there for now. 41B is this other window, which is this one here. We've got 41C. Now this is the part that was faulty from new. It wasn't damaged by me because I hadn't fitted it at this point. This is the front window, the lower front window, and you'll notice, and those who've already built it, it's got two lugs either side. Okay, so let me just zoom in. Okay, so you've got one here and one here, and you'll notice this one looks different. This was missing. It was just a completely flat surface there. So whether it was missed in manufacturing or I don't know, come off at some point. So what I've had to do is, because I had a replacement issue 40, I had a spare one of these pipes here. And if you remember, there was a locating peg or a pin that stuck out from this side. So I actually cut that off, filed it down, made a nice flat surface, and I've glued it on there, and that is solid. So now I've got the tab. So hopefully this will fit without any problems. So that was the issue, but I have since repaired it. And you're not going to see that because that's going to be inside the frame. It's really strong. I used some good glue, so I'll let it dry. So I'm really happy. I'm really happy with that. So I can see a little bit of flashing or something on this one, which I will probably remove when we come to fit the window, but we'll do that shortly. Okay, so that was the issue. 41D is the right offside window, which is this piece here. Okay, and that is it for the window pieces. Then we've got 41E and F. So E is the right flap, and I know this is the correct one because it's got a flat edge here. F is the left flap, and I know it's the left flap because it goes down in a slant. Okay, that's how you can tell the difference. So when you look at them side by side, you can see they're different shapes. So that's the right, that's the left. 41G is the hinge, which is in this little bag here, and there it is just there where my thumb is. And H is the handle, which is also in this little bag. And then 41I is a clip, a little like a circlip type thing, and that is plastic, and it's there. It's that black piece just in that bag as well. So it's nice they've kept that all together in safe hands, in a safe package. Okay, 41J is a support bar, and that is this piece here, and this is made of metal. We've got 41K, which is a cable that is labelled C, and that is just simply this it's like an extension cable, I believe, and it's marked up C. 41L is a C2 LED cable, and that is this piece here. So it says C2 on there, and there's two. There's another wire that says C2, but this one is C2 LED cable, so obviously it's the one with the LEDs attached to it. So that's that piece there. And we've got 41M, which is a sticker, which is this one here, and it's got 4 stickers on there. You can see there, so you've got 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, we've got 41 N, which is C1 and C2 cable link, and that is this piece here. So you've got C, C1 and C2. Now this is really important. I don't know whether they've rectified this because obviously I'm a little bit late in my subscription. However, there was a misprint. I don't know whether it's a misprint or a mislabel of these, or whether it was a misprint in the magazine, but we'll find out shortly. But originally these two labels were mixed up. C1 and C2 were mixed up. It didn't make sense from the magazine, but we'll cover that when we come to it. They could have rectified it. I doubt it because you know, they've obviously had the manufactured and they've probably been the issues have been sitting in their warehouse. So expect there to be a slight issue with this cable. It doesn't. All it is like a splitter. So it connects two sides of the bus. And there's just a slight misprint, but I'll go through that and explain that when we come to that part of the build. 41O is another sticker, and that's this one here, and it's smaller than the original one, and it's got two on there. 41P is another sticker, and it's just a single one on its own. And again, that is smaller. I know all these parts are slightly off camera, just going through them all. Okay, so next we come with all these screws. There's lots of screws. So we've got SM, which are red, and we've got 7 of them. MM, which are black, and there's 4 of them. NM, which are red, and we've got 7 of those. TM, which are black, and there's 3 of them, and I've actually been issued 4, so I'm probably expecting to have 2 spare, I think. CM, there should be 11 screws, black screws, which are in there, and we also get 3 red CM screws which are in the same package marked CM. FM, we've got 5 and they're black. Okay, and GM we've got 2 and again they're black. So sorry for such a long introduction. There's a lot of parts to get through, but you know, I like to go through all the parts, make sure everything's here. Okay, there's also a little balloon on here that says not all of these parts are used in this issue. 2 of the cables are fitted in the next issue, so expect to not use all of the parts. So this is my new frame. As I say, I've already built this up. It looks a lot better. So I have tested the window. One of them wouldn't fit in the other frame, but it does in this one. So I'm hoping this will all go well today. I'm really hoping so I can progress in the build. So what we need to do is first take the cabin frame 40A and the left window 41A. So this is 40A. And this is part A of this issue 41. I've got a little microfiber cloth here, so I'm going to give it a little gentle wipe over to get some of the handprints off. Okay, and we're going to place this in the frame and fix the window in place with 6 SM screws. It also says here, hold the windows by the frames to avoid getting finger marks on the frame. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm just going to grab the screws out, the SM screws, and put them in my pot so they're ready to go. I need to work on a bigger pot or a tray. And Paint with Penny's got a nice tray, so I might ask her permission if I can she'll possibly send me over the file, because this was really good to start with, but where there's all these you know, screws and issues with lots of screws in, you know, it's not ideal. And they've changed the adhesive on these stickers. They used to come off really easily, but they're quite stiff on there now. Right, so we've got SM screws. So take the cabin frame. Right, so we're going to fit this into the frame here. Now this will only go in one way. Note the holes in the middle here, the locating holes. I'm going to bring you in a little bit. Okay, so you've got 2 holes. You've got 2 here. There's 6 in total. If you put this on the wrong way, you can just about see there, the holes don't line up. So this will only effectively fit one way. Okay, and that does go in lovely. The other one, it didn't want to fit. Okay, so now we're going to secure this in with the red screws. So be really gentle, because this is obviously you may cause a crack if you're too heavy with this, but I'm going to start in this bottom corner here. And start screwing that through. And that has started to grab, and I've stopped. Okay, it's not in all the way, but I just want to locate all the screws first before I tighten them down. So I'm now going to do the opposite corner just to get it all lined up. And just be really careful with the screwdriver, because you don't want to slip. You don't want to slip the screwdriver off the screw and damage the perspex or the, you know, the acrylic, whatever it is. And also you don't really want to damage the screw head, because obviously they're painted for us a nice red Routmaster colour. And I'm just going to have a quick screwdriver change, because I don't feel I'm using the best screwdriver for these screws. So I'm just going to sample this one. It's not that one. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so I've got 3 of the 6 in. So now I'm gonna try this top one up here. Oh. Got a little bit of a shake on. It's because I'm nervous. I don't want to damage anything here. Okay, put another one in there. And then we've got one more, so this is looking good. As I say, it didn't fit very well. It didn't fit at all in the other frame, so this is a step forward. So I'm just supporting the other side. Now I'm just going to go around and tighten them as much as I dare. I'm looking at them at an angle, so I can see when the screw, because I'm not tightening these, it's just securing the window in place. It's not going to fall out. There's enough screws to keeping it in. But if you go too far, obviously, it's going to shatter or crack. Okay, and I'm happy with that. I don't want to go any more on any of those screws. I'm just going to give that a quick wipe over. There we go, we've got the first window in. There's a few marks on it. But there we go. So that is the first one done. Okay, next we're going to turn the cabin frame round so that we can fit the right window. Identify the fixing points. The pegs on the inside of the window can fit into sockets on the recesses and the frame of the cab. Fit the window in place. Note these are push fit connections. Ooh, okay. I always get nervous when we come to push fit connections. In case they don't push fit or it's too loose. And I don't want to be putting glue on this because obviously it will make the windows cloudy. So let's all keep our fingers crossed for a nice tight fit. So again, I'm just giving the window a wipe over with a microfiber. Gently turn this over. Now I'm just eyeing these up to see if there's a specific way these go. But I think they will go either way. Okay, so I'm going to pop that in there, and I'm going to use the microfiber cloth to gently go round. Okay, I'm wrong. There is a direction. It doesn't want to fit that way. The middle holes are slightly off centre, so I'm going to turn this round and see if that helps. And it does. Okay, yeah, and that is a nice push fit connection. And I'm happy with that, I think. They did sort of click into place. Well, some of them did, not all of them. So I'm just going to go around the edges. And just check that they're all in. Yeah, and that is fit. That's lovely. It's not coming out, so I'm really happy with that. Okay, what you could do is you could, in theory, actually put some glue on the other side if you're not happy, because I think you can see through the window, you see these the holes. That's where the plastic push fit connections have popped through. So with a cocktail stick, you could very gently just dab a little bit of glue on each of those points if you wanted to, but I'm not going to because that seems to be in good enough for me. Okay, so that being done, we're going to take the upper window 41B and identify the 3 fixing points. Working from the inside, fit the window 41B to the cabin frame 40A. Fix in place with 3 black CM screws. The inset shows the window in place. Okay, so I'm going to move this SM screw out of the way because we're done with that. There's one left, so that we are now done with these screws. So I'm going to grab the CM screws now, and I'm going to pop these all in my tray. That one came off nicely. CM. Okay, so just check this. I'm just going to check the screwdriver bit. Yeah, that's the wrong one now. So let me just have a quick change. Perfect. So this is the upper window frame, and it's got a cutout at the bottom there. Again, I'm just going to go over that with a microfiber just to get some of the prints off. There we go. Okay, so this will only obviously go in one way, because if you look at the top of the frame here, you've got these two protrusions, and they're going to match up with the cutout on the actual window itself. So this will only fit one way. Okay, and that has gone in nicely. So what we're going to do now is use the 3 cm screws to secure that in place. So you've got a screw there, a hole there, one there, and then just one on the right hand side as you look at it. Okay, so again I'm going to start them off. This one. Just pop that on there. I'm just going to start them all off, and then in the same way I'm going to tighten them all up, but not until the screwdriver stops as such, just until I'm happy. So what I'm doing is I'm going to hold it on its side, and I can see the screw, so when it meets the plastic, so for me there, I'm going to stop. And I'm going to actually extend this, because I think this is going to aid me, because the handle's just getting caught on the back part of the cabin here. So I'm just being really careful. Right, I'm not going to push that one anymore. I'm not going to push that one anymore, and then I'll give this one a little tighten. Okay, I'm not going to push that anymore. I'm happy with that. So that is that piece in. I'm so bad, I just want to keep polishing it. Every time I get a fingerprint on it. I know I shouldn't. I should wait till the end really and then polish the whole thing up. But yeah, that is looking really good. So pleased with that. Absolutely beautiful. I should keep this out really. So again, sorry, I apologise if you're getting bored or anything. It is quite a long issue, this one. But I am really enjoying it, and I hope you are too. Okay, we're moving on to step 4. Right, this is where we're going to be attaching the lower front window, the one that I had to modify. So let's just hope all is going to be good. Now, as I said to you earlier in the when we were checking off the parts, I don't even see that. Let me see if I can get a zoom in. You can see there's a little bit of flashing or something just on the side of that peg, and I'm not happy about that. So what I'm going to do is use my scalpel. There you go. And I'm just going to gently, I don't want to take too much off, but I'm just gently going to run down or a mould line, I think is the proper term. It's like a little mould line. But obviously I'm using a surgical blade, so this is really sharp, but it's precise, so you know, be careful. Okay, I'm happy that that's been removed. Okay, so that's better. Okay, so I'm just going to give this a little wipe over. And I'm hoping this is going to fit in, because I have, as I say, had to glue this in, but I'm hoping it's going to be a nice fit. So, we need some NM screws, so I'm just going to grab them out so they're ready to go, and check the screwdriver, because we're going to be working with quite a fiddly part now, so I want to make sure everything is ready to go. Again, they've used super adhesive on those screws, so I'm just not going to worry about that. Okay, I'm happy I've got the correct screwdriver. So, trying to get the focus just right for you. So, what we need to do is open this little bag now. Oop. With the hinge in there and the handle. And I'm going to put that in here because of that circlet. Okay, there's a little bit of muck in there or something, but there we go. There it is. Now, if we look at this, you've got a locating pin in the middle and then 2 screw holes. So this will only fit one way, which is going to be that way. So what we're going to do is place the window in. There's a hole just there. So this is the side I've modified. So I'm hoping it's going to fit. Oh, look at that. I'm hoping that it is going to be a nice fit. And then on the other side, obviously, we're just going to pop the other side of the window in. Oh, okay. That isn't a very good fit on the other side. So let me just have a little closer inspection here and see if I can. What I'm doing is I'm just giving it a little bit of a twist in the hole, just to sort of wear the plastic down slightly. Okay, so I've got that in now. As you can see, it's sort of stuck on its own. So I'm going to try and test fit this now and see what it's like. Okay. Not quite. So what I'm going to do is just use my knife here, and I'm just going to scrape some of the paint away. Delicately, just to see if we get a better fit. So now I'm going to recheck. Okay, that's gone in a lot better. So let me try it again. It's best to do little adjustments. Okay, so I've got a problem with the other side. It's not quite going in enough. So again, this did have a load of paint on it. So I'm just going to carefully... In fact, I'm going to do one better and use a emery board. Just to... sand this pin down a little bit. So that's okay because it's going to fit. Oh, it's lively. That is obviously going to fit inside the hole, so you won't see that anyway. So let's test that for a fit. Okay, still not quite there. So I'm just going to take off a little bit more. And then recheck. Okay, still not quite there. So I'm just going to take a little bit off the other side now. As I say, small adjustments, because you don't want to go too far, because then you can't go back. That went in nicely, so let's try and refit. It's almost there. I can see every adjustment I'm doing is making it fit better. But it's just not quite there. So again, I'm just going to go one more time. I must admit, you may not have this issue, but because I had to manufacture a new pin to glue on here, it could be making things a little bit harder for me. So that's probably why I'm having to adjust these very slightly. But it's all part of the fun, isn't it? It sort of gives you a little bit of a scratch build element to it. I'm just going to double check that is going to fit in there, which it is. I've just seen a little bit of paint that's on the hinge. And I'm also going to just file down a little bit of the paint on the locating peg, just to make that fit a little bit nicer. Because you're not going to see that side, so... Okay, so that's a good fit. That's a better fit. That's a better fit. that is a fit. There you go, it's on now. So, with that little hiccup out of the way, we're then going to carry on with the NM screws, and we're going to put 2 of those through that bracket to hold it to the frame. So that's one started. I'm then going to just put the other one in, make sure that is lined up. No, wasn't quite lined up. So I've just put that in without the window for the moment. So now I know those screws are okay. So I'm just going to try again. I've lost a bit of pipe. Okay, it's still not quite there. I'm just going to cut away for a minute. Because this is going on too long. I'm just going to do a little bit more filing of these pins and the locating pin, and then I'll be right back with you when I've got a fit. Okay, I'm back. It actually only took me about 30 seconds. I just took a bit more off this side, lined it up, it went straight in. There you go. So I have fitted that part now. So yeah, just screwed that in. And the window is now operational. It's a little bit stiff, but that's good because then obviously it's designed to, you know, have it open however you want to display the model. But I'm happy with that. It's not quite right on this side. But again, you know, the window's straight, but it's, see the bend in the frame here, but I think that is I think it's the best I'm going to get, but when you look at it head on, you know, it's not too bad, and I'll probably display it with it open anyway so you wouldn't notice, but I'm going to just keep it as close as I can for now. Ah, there you go. That's better, slightly better, but you can see there it's not the best fit in the world, but I'm happy with it at the moment, and I can always revisit this because I have got another issue on the way, 41, so you know, I can maybe test fit the other window to see how that looks. So that being done, let's move on. So next we want to attach the flaps. So take the 2 flaps, 41E and F. Viewed from the inside of the cabin, the left flap is more tapered than the right. So we'll start with the tapered one. Which is this one here, and that is going to go obviously match the shape up. So the best thing to do with this, I can see, is have the open the flap so it looks a little bit like that. And then feed the blade of the flap through and that isn't going to work because the hinge. So right, so I've put it through from the outside. And that was actually quite difficult, I'm not going to lie, but what I'll do is I'll show you what I did on the next one. It was a little bit tight. And we're going to use NM screws again for that, 2 on each. So I'm just going to line those 2 holes up there. God, this... I'm just going to hold that in place and then screw that in, and I think I might have to extend this screwdriver, and this is a very very tricky build. This issue, which is great. You know, there's a lot to do, but I think next week maybe less to do. That's normally how it goes. You know, you get a lot to do in one issue. You know, we're doing a lot in this one. And then next week may not be so so much. So there we go. We've got the flap there, and I'm really happy with that. That seems to fit okay. That opens up like so. So we're going to do the same on the other side. Now what I did, in the same way, I'm going to bend the hinge down so it looks like that. It goes along down, and this part here with the 45-degree angle on it, that is going to go inside. Bearing in mind it's going to go in the screw holes. So what I did was take the 2 holes like that, place it in, yeah, so in, and then rotate it down, and then it folds under, and then the screws are nicely in place for me. Okay, and then again with another couple of NM screws we'll secure that in. So that's 1 in. And 2. Okay, so that looks fairly good. I'm just going to check the operation of the flap. There you go. And they come out nicely. Brilliant. So really enjoyed that. Okay. Oh, this is where it gets really exciting. So we've got 1 NM screw left. So I'm going to put that away because we don't need that. Now we want some screws, which are these ones here. And this is where it gets exciting. I've been looking forward to this. We are going to get the front grille. Which we got in issue 1. That was a long time ago now, wasn't it? I'm just going to give this a little dust off because it's been sitting on my shelf. Okay. We're going to marry these two pieces together now, which is really good. So, I'm going to put my microfiber down. I think the best thing to do is sort of have this face downwards. And then with the driver's cab, you've got 3 holes here. 1, 2, 3. And you've got 3 holes on here. 1, 2, 3. 3 fixing points. They're going to marry up just like so. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to secure that all together. So I'm just going to get the right length on my screwdriver. This one's going to be the most difficult, so I'm going to start that one first. So with an screw, I'm going to start with this one just here, but obviously I've had to use an extended screwdriver. Now, I think it's going to be rather difficult to do it with the one provided. Okay, so that one is in. I'm just going to carefully turn this around and give it a few more turns. If not, do it up completely. No, that'll do for me for now. Then I'm going to move on to the second one. Just start that off. And then the last one here. A little bit awkward to hold, so I've just got my hand wrapped around the front. And then I'm just going to go along and tighten those 3. Wow. There you go. Look at that. Really happy with that. It is a fairly nice fit. A little bit of a gap going on just in there and around there. You can just see that underneath there's a little bit of a gap. You know, however, it doesn't. I don't think you wouldn't know that was there unless you were really looking. Okay. With that being done, it's a little bit awkward now to hold this. I'm just going to pop it. I'm going to have to bring this up. I'll pop it like that for the moment, and then we'll move on to the next stage. Fit the LEDs on one end of C2 LED cable into the offside reflectors. Notice how the insulated wires are leading directly from the LED are bent slightly in different ways, circled in blue. Okay. The one that is slightly longer before being bent goes into the side light reflector, and the shorter one goes in the headlight reflector. So one of these in theory should be slightly longer than the other. To me, not really. They're about the same. I can't see any real difference. There's no substantial difference in the length of those LEDs. So I'm just going to go with, let me just have another look. This one is very marginally longer, but I don't think enough to warrant worrying about it. So I'm going to put that one into the side light reflector. Let me bring it down, which is obviously going in this one here. And looking at the magazine, it's sort of going in straight but slight angle. Okay, I'm going to push that too. And then what I'm actually going to do is use a pair of tweezers just on the back side of the bulb in between, just to push that in and get a secure fit. And then slowly bend these LED legs downwards. Okay, like that. And that's sort of how, that's actually a really good match to the magazine. Okay. And then we want stickers 41M. So I'm just going to have a look, because obviously there's 3 lots of stickers. 41M are these long ones here. So I need to take one of the stickers, it looks too long. I'm just going to have a look through just to see if there's a possible typo. It looks slightly too long, and I remember I remember Penny having a slight issue with these stickers, but I'm going to go with it. It does say 41M, so I'm just going to do it as the magazine states. It just looks slightly different in the magazine. It looks like it's more wider and shorter, but what we're going to do is place that over inside. Something like that. And that's just going to keep that LED wire into place. Okay. The other LED is obviously going to go in the headlight. It does say these may need cutting to fit, so I need to read the manual properly. Right, so I'm going to put the other LED in the headlight, and that is a really loose fit. That will not stay in on its own, so I think that's why we need the tape. And it wants us to bend that upwards. So it's sort of like that. Again, with another piece of tape, we're going to go straight over the top of that. And then depending how this goes, let's move that round a bit. Okay, that has gone in. I was going to say, depending on how that goes, I would be tempted to put a spot of glue just on the back end of the LED, just to keep that in place. But I'm not going to. But what I am going to do is I'm going to get I've got some electrical tape, and I'm going to just secure that with a bit more electrical tape, because I'm not happy with that is secured enough for me. Okay, that's better. I'm more happy with that. Okay, so moving on. Take the support bar 41J and fit it to the back of the grille frame 1A. Fix in place with 2 red CM screws. So I'm just going to move those wires out of the way. So this is the support bar. And I'm just going to match this up and see if this is a one-way fit. Yes, it is. So this is obviously a grill. You've got this cutout here, which is actually going to go around this. If I try and put this in the wrong way, it's just not going to work. So this will only go in one way, like so. And then we're going to use 2 red CM screws from the outside to secure that into place. So I'm going to hold that in place. And you've got a hole here, so I'm just going to start that off. That has gone in. And then I'll start the other side off before I secure it down completely. So I'm trying not to make the screwdriver jump, because of the paint, but it is quite difficult. Okay, I'm happy the support bar is in place. Okay, there's a lot of weight on this now, so be careful with this wing, because it is very loose, and that is as tight as I want to, I want to go with that. So I'm going to have to find a nice way of, storing this. Okay, so the last step, please ignore the steering wheel. I actually filmed issue 42 and realised that I'd forgotten to do. I still had a couple of bits left, the handle, and I missed it out of the magazine. It was quite a small part up in the corner there after putting the support bar in. So I'm just backtracking and doing that now. So ignore anything else you see. But so we're going to put the handle in on top of the on the driver's cabin there. So it wants us to put the handle in from the inside out, like so. And this is going to be quite difficult, I think, but we'll see, because I haven't got any nails. And then with the circlet, Oh, that wasn't too bad at all. With the circlip, we're just going to push that down over there, and that's just going to keep that in place. But it also means that we can move the handle. It's just the details are absolutely fantastic, aren't they, on this model? So yeah, that is the final step. So there you go. Sorry about the mammoth build, but it is what it is. That was a really, really nice issue to do. Really got stuck into there, and it's really nice to get some more of the front end together and screwed up. Obviously I had a little issue with the window. Obviously I had to file the pegs down, but obviously I did make a peg myself, so what I'll do is I have got a replacement coming anyway because of that. So you know, there's nothing stopping me now fitting the replacement when that arrives, just to see if it's a better fit or not. I mean, I'm happy with the fit, don't get me wrong, totally happy for that to be on the my final model, but it's worth a check when my new parts come. So again, after that mammoth build, hope you enjoyed. Please like, share, subscribe. If you wish to buy me a coffee, there is a link in the description below. Any support is gratefully received. Thank you so much to those who have already. Have an awesome evening, and I'll see you on Monday, so in a couple of days, for issue 42. Take care.